Anyways, I'm just going to. Should I just dislike this stream and be like, I can't see it? I actually disliked your stream.
Again, now I'm not sure if this is a VNC issue. Okay, so I'm going to quit VNC.
Guys, hit the dislike button because ये बंदे का इंटरनेट चलता नहीं.
चलता.
Guys,
okay, so it is a VNC.
Smash that dislike button.
So it is a VNC issue.
VNC का क्यों issue होगा?
I have no idea. I closed VNC, it's streaming properly now. This needs to be figured out. This needs to be figured out. Alright, sorry for the delay, everyone.
Did we do this VNC thing very early in this?
Very early, and which is why we ditched the whole browser idea.
Like, we have no recollection of all of that.
I did.
So why are we trying this today?
I thought it was like, you know, a one-off issue back then.
Get Unifier router. ये क्या बकवास लगाया तेरे घर पे? This is a router issue. It can't be a VNC issue. Come on. Why would it be a VNC issue?
I have no idea. So
something's throttling someone. And it's a local issue. If it's VNC,
it's a local issue. It's a local issue.
It's a local issue.
I can VNC into another VNC.
तू इधर इंसेप्शन क्या को कर रहा?
My point being कि I can route the wireless network from here to here and here to another computer. ठीक है, without a hitch. But if we are streaming and I run VNC, then something happens. I think it's a bandwidth issue. If I connect this like over Ethernet,
that's what I said. I know it's a bandwidth issue, but there are router fix.
नहीं. If I connect this over Ethernet, it will probably work एकदम fine.
इधर USB-C है. तू
अपन करेंगे ना Ethernet.
परवड़ता नहीं रे बाबा ये सब. तो अभी अपन लाइव है कि नहीं है?
We are live.
किधर लाइव है बाबा? इधर लाइव दिखना चाहिए. Object is live now.
क्या देख रहा फिर तू? You were watching it live.
Yeah, I was watching it live.
Yeah, so?
I don't get it.
What do you not get?
That's what she said, but sure. You're
We are live. Okay, I'm closing this. I'm getting my iPad.
Yeah, today I'm going to call all iPads laptops, all MacBooks iPads. Guys, you are live, is what my brother is saying.
Yes, we are live. That is what I've been trying to tell you.
Point is
what? Point is what?
I have no clue.
Alright, anyways, everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Nikhil. This is Confused Anuj. This is the objective
confused. Stream. It's more like dismayed. Like, it's not confused, it's like dismayed.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So, alright, quick few disclaimers. We have potty mouths, as you've probably realized already.
There's just one oh no, there's two disclaimers.
There are two disclaimers. So as you've probably already realized, so if you have sensitive hearing or if you have kids around you, you may want to either close the stream or wear a pair of headphones or earphones. And disclaimer number 2, we are enjoying alcoholic beverages.
Only
I am. So yeah, if you are of the legal drinking age, please feel free to join us with your own beverage wherever you are and drink responsibly if you are going to be drinking at all. What up?
You went live 3 times today.
Yeah, we did. We had to. We had no option. And I didn't do anything.
Live stream का health भी फटा हुआ है अभी.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's coming up fine. It's coming up
fine.
Okay,
Sagar, we really wanted to do the browser thing today.
Yeah, but for some reason it's not working.
Yeah, the browser thing is not working.
So I'll figure it out over the weekend and I'll keep it ready for the next show.
पण तुझं आम्ही ऐकलेलं आहे कारण की तू आमचा जीवाचा प्राण आहेस.
You are the OG.
OG. Anyways, coming back, let's just start the thing we want.
Absolutely.
So today we are trying some new stuff. So what we are doing is we are introducing a section. So we have news and then there's a section called What Are We Watching, right?
Yeah.
Where we talk about what are TV shows and movies that we have been watching. But now we are thinking of adding another section which is follow-up news. So that it will, so if there are any updates to something that we have covered in a previous stream, we'll talk about it. why I think this is important is because news moves a lot, like very fast.
Now,
Yeah, especially now, and it is important that we not lose track of what has already happened because there are new things happening all the time.
Yeah, and it kind of plays in with the whole fact that because of all the real time status of things and how news moves now, we tend to forget very quickly what has happened literally last week.
Yeah, and people like a president of country, certain country has said that facts don't matter because people will believe what I tell them to believe.
Yeah,
and then he tells a lie, and then by the time people are saying that was a lie, he tells another lie,
and it's a vicious cycle.
Goes on. So there was, and this is not just happening abroad. This is happening here. So there's this guy called Vivek Agnihotri.
Yeah,
he made a couple of very bad movies. He was interviewed by this very nice
weren't they all?
Yeah. So he was interviewed by a nice news organization called News Laundry, and he's like, facts are facts. You keep your facts. I will do what I want. And I like, this is some next level shit. I think he said your facts are your facts or something like this.
Race 3 dialogue basically.
Yeah, and like he really meant it. Like I'm not going to subscribe.
Oh, so he believed in what he said.
Yeah.
He
so
just didn't say
I'm not going to subscribe to your idea of facts. Essentially, what he said. So it's like facts are a matter of opinion now. We are living in an age where facts are a matter of opinion. So it's like.
So here's a fact for you, everyone watching the stream.
That is stupid.
The Earth is in the shape of a donut. If you were told that the Earth is a sphere or flat, as some people believe.
Yeah, that
was a lie.
That's just like it's
basically a donut shape, which is why you see the color blue when you look into the sky. You're basically looking at the ocean.
Fuck. That's some deep shit, man. Damn.
Earth is actually shaped like a donut. Go figure. Alright, moving into our very first topic.
Global Foundries. Wait.
Yeah.
No, didn't we do this last time?
No.
Okay. Global Foundries, which is one of the foundries which actually makes the chips for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They said that we are disinvesting from 7 nanometers. The technology required to manufacture 7 nanometer chips, they are like,
excuse me,
we have invested some, but now we are just cutting our losses. We don't think this matters or whatever. This is not a priority for us. And they just pull the plug. That means that TSMC is the only one left,
last man standing,
who's got this figured out, because Intel is still trying to get 10 nanometer to work.
Yeah.
And Global Foundry is like, fuck this 7 nanometer shit. So now TSMC is the only person who's still game.
And TSMC, by the looks of it and by all the news that they've shared, all the interviews that their engineers and VPs have done, it sounds like they have it all figured out. Right, and I think AMD is buying a lot of stuff from them this year.
Yeah.
Apple seems to be buying a lot of stuff from them this year. So they've definitely nailed 7 nanometer. Now what's left to be seen is when and if ever Intel joins the league.
It's difficult.
Because given Intel's track record on the matter, it's been a very slippery slope for them, and I think Coffee Lake was intended to be 7 nanometers.
Okay, I don't know.
But then they just like skipped that whole bit. No, sorry, Coffee Lake was 10 nanometer plus, whatever that means. And then the upcoming ones, which they released just yesterday, Amber Lake and one more. They were supposed to be 7 nanometers, but unfortunately they are still 10 nanometers.
Sucks. Moving on to the next topic. A hacker who apparently got a little frustrated. I think she was at her wits and she just dropped a 0-day Microsoft hack on Twitter, which is not very responsible.
Absolutely not. So the general code of conduct for reporting, the status is gone, it's deleted.
What the?
And the internet did not screenshot it?
No, there will be people. So that's why I put a Hacker News link.
But there are no screenshots there.
No, there will be.
Come on.
That is open to.
Come on. It's interesting.
Yeah, both tweets were deleted, but Google still had them cached. So
Okay.
So if you look at the link that we were showing. Oh crap.
Okay, so even the backups are down.
Yeah.
All right. Alok asks, can you give some background on the 7 nanometer thing?
So it's essentially how small does a transistor look?
So basically, in a single chip, you have millions, ranging from millions to billions of transistors, and the size of the transistor determines how many can you fit in the same amount of space. Like you have a defined area, so it kind of determines how many transistors you can fit in that set area.
Right.
So for your Intel CPUs, so the 1151 socket, which is your traditional consumer level desktop CPU, right? The size has rarely changed over the last 10 years. And because of this, we started out with 28 or was it 24?
I don't know.
28 or 24 nanometers, and now we are down to 10 and now going on to 7.
So the smaller you get, the more power you can fit into the same size.
Yeah, so you draw less power. So your heat output is less. Yeah. And you increase the efficiency of the entire package.
Okay, so coming back to 7 nanometer, manufacturing chips at that resolution requires a lot of technology and investment, which very few people can afford. There are like 4 or 5 foundries, Intel, TSMC, Global Foundries, and probably I'm missing 1 or 2.
What is the Korean one?
I'm not sure. But anyway, so there are like only a few companies.
Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung is another.
Samsung is. Yeah.
So only a few companies can actually afford doing all of that, because it requires heavy upfront investment.
And SK Hynix, right?
Like I said, I'm not.
SK Hynix also manufactures, I think.
Right. So it's like these. We are kind of dependent on them.
Yeah.
To get the technology right, because even if it works like theoretically or in some niche lab in a university, that does not mean it will reach consumers, because unless one of the big players have the capability to mass produce them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's why TSMC is saying that 7 nanometer is still doable for us, is important for consumers, because that guarantees us better chips.
So think about it this way. Simply put, so for example, say now next year's iPhones launch with 7 nanometer chips in them. So say the A12X or the A13 chips will be 7 nanometers. If we are lucky, those will that is what we'll get this year.
Right.
If we are lucky. If not, next year is guaranteed. And what that means is the battery life on iPhones and iPads will last longer. You will get a longer battery life. Second thing, you'll get more performance out of them. Number 3, when you're playing graphics intensive games, the SoC is less likely to heat up the entire phone. Right? It is going to heat up the phone. But it may take longer, or it may not do that at all for the same thing. Thosar is in the house.
Mama Thosar.
Alright. So seems like the whole zero-day vulnerability is kind of a dud topic.
Yeah, but this is something
not ending
that
up
should
anywhere.
not happen.
Yeah.
Where someone is just like...
So I was just explaining how security these issues are released to the public.
Right.
So basically, if you first try to attempt to contact the company or the person, and then what you essentially do is tell them about the issue, and then they kind of get back to you.
Right.
If they don't reply to you for about say a month or 2, you can just simply assume that they don't care or they are not interested, and then publicly talk about it. But the moment they acknowledge anything, the moment they reply even something like a hi, you are morally obligated to not share details until that exploit has been fixed.
So it's a lot about ethics and morality here. So even on the company's behalf, they should have a policy where they reward security researchers for finding bugs in their system.
Okay, that's not always monetarily feasible, but companies should be open to it. They should not prosecute the person reporting it, like some Indian companies do. Right? Like they can be upfront about it that we do accept bug reports, like security issue reports. However, we do not have enough monetary funds to reward you. Or we don't, or just upfront say we don't have a bug bounty program, but we do sincerely look into security issues that you report. That's it. If you start going and prosecuting these people, then the chances of you getting hacked are way higher. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? So like for example, you report a vulnerability, okay, and then they kind of start prosecuting you for it. Okay,
that's open.
And then you tell your peers, okay, one of them is going to get tilted and they're going to go and hack them. So this is always happening.
People are actually trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next topic.
It's like contacting UIDAI about Aadhaar, not interested, ho jao shuru Twitter. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so talking about India. See? Okay, failed demo.
No, that wasn't failed demo. It went like right into people's eyes.
Okay. But India legalizes commercial drone flying and brings a digital platform. Whoa. Okay, what was that?
Not very sure.
I think we broke a drone live. No, we broke a drone live. That's more important.
Yeah. Ratings are through the roof.
So is the drone.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yes. And they've also brought a digital platform to get licenses for flying a drone on a particular day at a particular time. And it's called No Permission, No Flying. Right? Yeah, No Permission, No Takeoff. So NPNT, which is a pretty cool name. So whoever came up with that, thumbs up. And what's cool about this is you can literally get a license for that particular day.
Right. Siddharam is like for this feat, I'm like, 1 like is equal to 1 salute for Indian John.
Yes. George is saying yes.
George is actually right. We predicted this and when this thing flies from here, people are going to complain about this because this is going to pick up a lot of that.
Yeah, and I then very politely went ahead and asked him not to do it, and he insisted that he do it live.
Yeah,
he's the one to blame.
Because that's how you make a mark. You annoy people and then they remember you.
Yes, and I agree with Chinmay and George. George is like, not the eyes. Chinmay is like, try not hitting the Ursa with the drone.
Yeah.
See, we have very smart people in the stream.
Yeah. No, I mean Ursa.
They also have you in the chat. That's a different thing.
Yes. So it's like we're balancing it out.
We are balancing out. Yeah, I agree.
1 like is 1 salute.
Alright, and
Sitaram, I don't see your like for the stream, honestly.
Yeah, we can see likes live.
Yeah, it's like don't lie, right?
Yeah.
Don't lie on the stream. The internet is watching you. Your parents will be ashamed.
Alright, so here's the interesting tidbit. A permit is necessary for pilots unless they are operating a nano drone under 50 feet or a micro one, which is up to 251 grams.
So this one's
to
small.
2 kilos.
This is, I think, 60 grams.
So this comes under nano, I think.
Yeah. So it's okay if we fly this without anybody's permission.
Yeah. Or
so don't go snitching on us.
Yeah. So, or 251 grams to 2 kilos. No, you're inside the bounds of a private property.
No, I don't think that.
So it doesn't apply.
I don't think that matters.
It should.
No.
Okay. And And number 2 is 251 grams to 2 kilos below 200 feet. Now, considering all the commercial drones that are available, right, for like people like you and I, this is the category we all fit into, the micro one. Unless you get the DJI, what is it called?
The Hex one, right? The big one.
The huge one. Casey Neistat used it for...
No, that wasn't a DJ.
For one of the New York City
okay,
tours.
Okay. Tours. I thought the one that they used to...
No, not that one. That was a custom drone.
Yeah.
So that one basically, it's pretty huge and it has a 4K camera that captures RAW and all that shit. So it's pretty cool, and for that you need a license. So technically, most of the drones are now safe to fly, but don't be a jackass or be stupid enough to go and fly it near a airport or a military base.
A lot of government buildings, basically. So you should still read the drone. There's a PDF for it. You can search for DGAC.
Okay.
Drone affidavit law or something like that, and then you'll find all the exact rules.
Yeah. So Chinmay says, imagine drones tangling in India and wire webs on rooftops. Remember, these used to be things hanging from wires. There will be drones hanging on wires now. Fun fact: there's a empty house a couple of houses down where I live, and there is a DJI Phantom 2 just sitting in the porch. And the house has been empty for all year now, like 2018, and nobody has touched it.
I'm going to take a quick pit stop on the way home.
Acha. But there is no remote, there is no guarantee it works, nothing.
That will be figured out.
Alright, but it's so cool to see that commercial drone flying is finally legal in India. And
I had a very interesting use case. Like, I met a guy and he's like, he's in the whole solar panel installing industry.
Right.
He's like, we need drones because
to survey.
Shadows, for surveying. Because shadows of buildings matter, and when my engineer goes there, he has to approximate how tall a building is.
Yeah, makes sense. And
he's like, I don't want that, because if instead of 5 meters it's 7 meters, it messes up my calculation and I end up making a lot of dead investment.
Hey, Anuj's friend, get yourself an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus or iPhone 10 or any of the new upcoming iPhones and use the Measure app.
I don't know. I'm not sure how.
Saste mein problem solve.
Yeah. No, but it's better because.
No, but I get his point.
No, the thing is, he wants the design of the building in Autodesk at the end of the day. That you can't do using an iPhone yet.
No, you. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
you can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah. No, the people have done those kind of things.
No, I'm telling from first-hand experience.
Okay.
No, he's asking like, can't we use another drone to take the drone now?
Saste cuff. What was saste?
The iPhone.
Saste mein ho
raha hai. So he like cough saste cough because of iPhone.
No, I lost context because
we
went ahead and the comment comes late, right?
Alright. So I think we should move on to the next topic.
This was such
a fun one.
Beautifully executed by me. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Please, guys, no claps. Everybody, please just sit down. Just sit down. It's okay. No claps.
You broke the drone.
पागल है क्या? उसको कुछ नहीं होता.
Alright, moving on to the next topic. Black Mirror topic, not so surprising. Yahoo is scanning your emails to sell it to advertisers.
This is like the OG law of like unwritten law, right? Like mail is as old as it goes. Email.
Yes.
And it was always kind of like, don't read my mails.
Wait, wasn't that the purpose of the internet when it was made?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Like CERN developed the internet so they can.
No, I think they had pages initially.
Yeah, so like email each other basically. Yeah, now what we call email. They basically wanted to email each other their like papers and journals and whatnot.
Point is,
that was the point. And basically every company out there, Google, Yahoo, MSN back in the day.
I don't know what Chinmay means when he says machine learning intern. Oh, like an intern in Yahoo.
Context then about. To read the full story, I have to subscribe or sign in. Okay, here's the thing, Wall Street Journal. No.
Chalo email scan karo, like that. Got it. Matlab,
but the general idea is that Yahoo is reading our emails, so they probably know what you're discussing about, and they are in your personal life, and they know everything that you talk about.
This is like last day chat. Like Yahoo का कुछ भी चल नहीं रहा, अभी दुकान बंद करने का time है. So let's just show some profit before we sell this off.
So I'm so happy that what is the company?
Proton Mail.
No. Smug Mug
acquired Flickr back from Yahoo.
I was so happy. I was very happy when Flickr was independent. I was very happy when Yahoo acquired Flickr. Then shit started hitting Yahoo, which kind of trickled down into Flickr. And then Smug Mug buys Flickr, and I'm pretty sure they are being pretty smug right now, considering how things are turning out.
Kulkarni has a point. If you're using Yahoo Mail Kulkarni. In 2018 you deserve this. But then there are people who have been using the same email for the last 20-25 years, and Yahoo Mail is older than Gmail, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So there are people who were like, ye Gmail kya hai? When they
there
had
are
Yahoo
people
account.
who still have a @me.com.
The OG.
@me, @mac.com. Like these are email addresses which are roughly 25-30 years old, if I'm not wrong. And that is incredible.
Ethics and tech.
I've said it time and again. Every course, everywhere around the globe, at least one semester out of the 8 that most courses have, one of them needs to have a ethics class which is compulsory. You cannot skip it. You fail the semester.
Right.
That is how it should be. Nothing to debate about there.
But when you start an ethics class, there will be a whole debate about
Is that ethical?
Yeah,
I'm sure it is. I'm very sure it is.
Sunil Kumar asked, what do you think about iCloud email? Works, I guess, but then you are
I have a very weird thing with iCloud email, and the fact that it is one of the best email IDs if you need like that instant push notification.
Is it?
Yeah. It is incredibly fast. It supports heavy attachments now since I think High Sierra or Sierra, and what was the point? Yeah, so when you sign up, you get 5 GB of free data.
That's less.
Okay, which is similar to what Google used to offer.
Right.
Okay, here's the problem. 6-7 years later, it's still 5 GB on iCloud, and I think it's 50 on Google. Yeah. Okay, and for someone who heavily relies on email like me, okay, I cannot use iCloud because that dries up very quickly for me. I have to use Google, so I can keep buying additional storage because those are files I need to keep. And then I take like every 6 months, I have to delete files and emails that I no longer need. So Google can automatically purge them a year later. So just in case I need them for some reason. But that is the case. So on iCloud, the extra storage is pretty expensive compared to Google. And since I use encrypted signed emails, Google reading my emails is not an issue. PGP keys for the win. Imagine copying in an ethics class, recursion hoil. Yes. Yes.
Thanks for reading out.
Yes.
Move on to the next topic after evening.
DuckDuckGo.
A
house favorite.
Yeah. DuckDuckGo is a search engine, privacy focused. They don't track you. They do a lot of nice things, and they're profitable, and they raise more money, which is going to be nice.
Yeah. So actually, it was quite concerning that they haven't raised any money and they don't have a solid monetization plan in works.
No, they do ads, but ads without tracking.
Yeah, but they're like tasteful ads.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, they are pretty tasteful ads most of the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now,
So they're not greedy.
Yeah, they're not greedy. They'll take whatever they get.
Moving on from search engines that don't track you to the next topic.
iCloud data plans are ancient. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Tozer has a very valid point. Tozer always coming in with the valid points. Okay, now this topic, the upcoming topic, I have no clue about. So please take it away.
Facebook and Twitter are being mean to each other. Like I don't know how else to put it.
Like, what do you mean?
So Facebook removed some plugin for Twitter. Sorry.
Okay. Now I'm just reading, and it's pretty funny what happened.
What happened?
So Facebook removed support for a plugin that kind of helped you, cross-post tweets. So I remember this, like if you wrote a tweet and at the end you put a hashtag called FP, the service used to automatically catch that tweet and post it to Facebook as a status message.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Facebook seems to have removed it. And all the posts by that plugin since forever.
Yeah, so the thing is, it should have only stopped working for stuff that happened henceforth.
Yeah.
But what happened was the older ones got removed as well. So this was probably human error more than anything else. And yeah, because you don't mess with something that's already being done.
But here's the other thing. When these kind of services surfaced, most people signed up because it was pretty. It felt pretty cool to write a tweet, put a hashtag, and have it cross-posted to Facebook, and you could discuss the same thing in both places. Today, neither Facebook nor Twitter are a place of discussion anymore. They are places to show off, to advertise.
Man, Twitter is still
to
nice,
kind of,
man.
make a point that may or may not be valid and get away. This is how majority of the people are using Twitter and Facebook now. People who have been on Facebook and Twitter since, let's say, up to 2010. Those are the people who are still using Twitter and Facebook as it's meant to be used.
It's a little bit of generalization, but I see why you would say that.
Yeah, so a thing is like, most new people coming to Twitter, right, are there to follow a celebrity.
Okay, so you have to realize that a social network has initially a niche set of users. Once they once they saturate that, they have to change that nature to attract more users, because users is one of the biggest metric that's relevant
when you're VC backed.
So for that you have to make those compromises. So
So again,
if
now,
there's a social
remember,
network which asks me to pay, and sees that we don't care about how many people are there, we'll keep on providing this as is for people who are already here.
Unfortunately, that did not work out very well for app.net. And app.net was pretty cool. It was very similar to Twitter.
Reddit is doing a lot of populist things.
No, but that's Reddit. I mean, come on. You can't bring Reddit into this.
Reddit is like, after the old founders came back, they have started doing a lot of things which I would say are kind of aligned towards the other social networks.
Okay.
For example, the website redesign was one. The filtering and the censorship thing was another. The mobile apps are that.
Mobile apps are just
so they are trying to get there too. which is okay, but
Reddit users are way more vocal.
Yeah.
Than
That's why we had that startup other thing, right? Vote.
Vote.
VOAT.
I have no idea.
Check out Vote. It's a Reddit clone.
App.net came. It kind of was there for a year and a half, 2, and then it just faded out. Because so I think this is the same problem we would face if we were to tell all WhatsApp users in India to not use WhatsApp and use something like Signal or Telegram.
Yeah.
Right, we would face the same amount of friction getting those users into using Telegram or Signal, because like how Google has become now a verb, WhatsApp is a verb in India. Yeah. That's pretty scary.
So guys who are looking for an alternative to Reddit, check out vote.co. So VOAT.co. It's pretty interesting.
And anyone looking for an alternative for Twitter, check out Mastodon. All right. So, moving on to the next section.
It's called the follow-up topics.
The follow-up topics. Pretty simple, huh?
So, we have talked about GDPR at length. I think we talked about it once or twice.
We talked about GDPR at length. We discussed GDPR in relation with different topics.
Right.
We are like, we heavily favor GDPR and we want a law like GDPR in
everywhere. In India, everywhere. So for those who aren't aware about GDPR is this new thing passed by the European government, which says that if you are tracking people, you have to essentially tell them that you are tracking them. Right? That's the gist of it. That's a very major oversimplification.
It's a very broad system. Yeah. It's a very wide covering
but
system.
Essentially it's made tracking way difficult.
Yeah.
And that is apparent. So the article that we posted a link to is like the GDPR is a cookie monsters. There has been a major purge with trackers on websites because of GDPR, which is great. So,
but here's the downside of this whole thing. Initially, when you opened a website, it used to show add content.
Right.
Now it's content. And there are like 10 floating elements all over the place asking for tracking consent, and this website uses cookies and to read their privacy policy and to read their terms of service and what have you, and it's just disturbing. It takes away from the content, so I'm pretty sure someone will figure out a better way to do this. And what are the chances that I get asked to sign up for a newsletter in a pop-up while I'm on a GDPR article?
Anyways, browsers are by themselves working on it. Safari pushed something last year where they delete cookies after a day, if I'm not wrong.
No. They prevent
tracking by deleting third-party cookies after 1 day.
Yeah.
Firefox is working on quite a lot of stuff. They now have a thing called container for Facebook. Because they realize that that's the
one of the primary sources.
Primary sources of tracking.
Another thing that Safari is now doing, starting from macOS Mojave. So this is already available in Safari Technology Preview, and is the it's kind of the version 2 of intelligent tracking prevention. And what it basically does is create a signature of websites that want to track you.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so like I think adlinktracking.com is one of the biggest ones, one of like the most well-known domains, and Safari will kind of like, whatever bits and pieces of information it gets, it'll keep kind of, generating a bigger fingerprint, a bigger picture. And once it has enough data,
right,
no matter how they decide to spoof their requests,
right,
Safari will know that it is that domain where data is being sent or requested from, and it'll just block the request. You will not be notified about it for the person implementing this, right? It'll work for them because for them it is still first party.
Right.
For us it's third party. And when it gets deployed in production, it'll just silently fail. No error is thrown, nothing happens.
That's interesting. But yeah, tracking and anti-tracking both are
Oh, in related news, AdBlock Plus. It's a plugin that blocks ads, and so when you install AdBlock Plus and you say visit a website, websites then started detecting if you have an ad blocker, and then they asked you to turn the ad blocker off. Now AdBlock blocks that as well. So it has gone into super meta territory.
Yeah, this is interesting. Moving on to the next topic, we talked about Cosmos Bank, which is an Indian bank, one of very old Indian banks, and how it was hacked for a few $1 million, $13 million. So more technical details about the hack have been revealed. I'm not sure we should get into the technicalities of it.
Okay, so the group behind the hack is called Lazarus, and they kind of have had some pretty, what would you say, substantial hacks against their name.
Yeah.
And didn't I tell you that it was basically a router?
Yeah.
So I was right. Because I've seen those physical machines.
Yeah.
I've literally seen those physical machines just lying on the floor in so many ATMs. It's quite concerning.
So for people who want to technically appt people who might be interested into the minute details, there's a link.
So please check the chat for the link.
Yeah.
There are lots and lots of crazy details in there. The most interesting one is that the bogus system was used to authorize ATM withdrawals for over 11.5 million US dollars through more than 2,800 RuPay, 12,000 international Visa transactions, and 4,500 cloned non-EuroPay MasterCard or Visa debit cards spanning over 28 countries. That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Damn. Man, cash withdrawal machines are such a honeypot.
Majorly. So, and I think the episode number 12 we discussed this, where like these ATMs are still running.
You remember episode numbers?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm nerdy like that. So in that episode we basically discussed how these ATMs are still running Windows XP and they don't have security patches installed and that they should upgrade. Then I realized after the show, like India has bigger problems than that. We can't get fucking currency to dispense from it because the currency size does not match. Like Windows XP being a problem for the ATM machine is like a tertiary issue for us.
They should do a politics podcast.
Sometimes my OCD wants to update the firmware on those ATM routers and fix the cable mess. Curbs on security lessons.
Chinmato sir, ATM technician. Like thoda overqualified us, but sure.
Very like thoda nahi.
But no job too small.
No job too small when you're doing देश की सेवा.
स्वच्छ भारत अभियानच्या अंडर जाऊ शकतो. He's essentially
he's cleaning up shit. Yeah. You should write to
Swachh Bharat
Abhiyan. Is it the HRD ministry or is it the Home Ministry?
Actually, who cares?
Or is it the Finance Ministry? Just write to all three of them and one of them will reply. Or the Cybercrime Department will. What are you doing? झोपले ते पण झोपले.
People are like,
chalo, bye. Anyways, the last topic being TSMC being the last man standing, which is what we originally opened with. And all of AMD's chips are going to be manufactured by TSMC on
because
7
AMD
nanometers.
is doing 7 nanometers now.
Yeah, they are all into that, and Intel is too big to swallow their own pride and just ask
ditch
AMD.
10 nanometers.
Yeah, ask AMD to just lend a helping hand, and it's kind of gonna play heavily into AMD's future, and it's just gonna like give them the push that they needed.
AMD stock.
Yeah, buy AMD stock.
Buy
If you're
AMD
into the whole share market deal, just buy a lot of AMD stock.
What are we doing today? I said like let's do a politics podcast. Now we are just suggesting stocks
like
to people.
stocks to people, yeah.
So this is now that kind of podcast.
That kind of podcast.
We have changed agenda. अपना बाबा रामदेव हो गया. Yeah, we started with yoga and now we are selling noodles. Like Baba Ramdev. उसने agenda कब change किया?
मुद्दा.
This is from Kunal Kamra's jokes.
No, but this is atta noodles.
Whatever.
Like maida is not a subset of atta. That is a whole different like उधर दिमाग लगाना पड़ता लोगों को समझने के लिए.
Anyways, this brings us to the last section of the evening where we are talking about Nikhil's shirt and how it's got wine on it. But no, really, we are talking about what have we been watching.
What have we been watching? Well, why don't you go?
Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime.
It's finally out.
Yes, it came out today at 5:30 a.m. and I already watched 2 episodes before going to work. Then I worked, supposedly, and then I'm here. So now I'm going to go back home and finish the rest of.
You're going to finish it today?
Yeah, it's like 6 episodes.
So,
YOLO.
I'm going to watch it over 6 days. I'm going to like make it last. So,
loser.
Purun. Should I wear a dance hat and sit in a corner now?
Loser. If you're not binging stuff, what are you even doing?
The reason why I don't binge watch is
because you're a loser.
Is quite simply because I don't get a lot of time.
आम्ही तरी काम तिकडे बसलेला असते ना.
दिसतंय ना. पहाटे उठून 2 episode you watched.
No, not पहाटे. It was like 7:30 a.m.
Pahate. For me it's pahate.
Anyways, what are you watching?
What am I watching? So, I finally finished Gilmore Girls, and then I realized that Netflix produced a 4-part series about the life after Gilmore Girls, and it's basically a continuation of the show, but broken down into the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Now that show, I've realized,
does not sound very appealing.
No, it's basically the same show. It's the same show, but with just like winter, spring, summer, fall.
Still not.
That's okay. That's perfectly cool because
I watched Ghoul.
Goal. Yeah.
GHOUL.
Cool.
Cool.
Radhika Apte, Netflix India, hashtag.
Yeah, she's killing it on Netflix. It's like
She's like even in the movie, she's literally killing it, and as an actress, she's killing it, and her role is killing it. You'll have to watch it to understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Killing it. Is that all? I think we're
No.
done for the day.
No, so I have watched The Most Unknown. Pretty cool stuff. It's a 90-minute documentary about
Sun.
like all the way from physics to like medical sciences and psychology and stuff.
Fancy shit.
Yeah, The Most Unknown.
It's on Netflix.
On Netflix. I started watching Insatiable, but I did not. Like the first 2 episodes, I didn't like it much. One thing on my list for tonight is Bhavesh Joshi.
Yeah,
Superhero.
I watched it.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Starring Harshvardhan Kapoor, Priyanshu
It's like a very
and Ashish Verma.
believable Indian superhero story.
Alright, we finally needed one.
Yeah.
Because
I think Flying Jet. Do you remember Flying Jet?
no.
It's you don't know Flying Jet?
No.
It's a Tiger Shroff movie. Superhero movie.
You're talking about Flying Jet.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you saying Flying Jet or were you saying Flying Jet?
Flying Jet.
Jet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then another Indian superhero was that Abhishek Bachchan thing. Aladdin or something like that.
The only one I remember is Ravan. Starring Shah Rukh Khan.
I know a lot of sad details like Abhishek Bachchan did an Indian superhero thing.
Okay. No, that I did not know about.
No, it was
okay.
very bad.
I watched.
So he wore a salwar kurta and that was a super suit. I'm not kidding.
Okay, and I watched Lust Stories, and I do not get the hype behind it. It's a supremely generic content. I was gonna say very mean things, but I just stopped there. It is supremely generic. I think just because there was a little bit of like softcore porn in there, people just hyped it up a lot. And yeah, okay. So Tosar confirms that The Insatiable sucks. It's a waste of time.
Oh,
cool. Thank you.
The movie that I was talking about, which everyone should watch because time is just a construct in your head, and you should waste it on supremely boring things. Drona. Drona is Abhishek Bachchan superhero.
Suddenly, like the poster flashed in front of my eyes.
Yes, so he wears a golden color salwar kameez thing, and that's
the Legend of Drona.
That's his super suit. And on that disappointing note,
oh my god, you guys definitely need to see the poster of this. Yeah, I don't think we can hit a more disappointing note than that.
Drona is something that everyone should watch.
Ultra sad.